Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whalenerds podcast, episode 39. And I'm here with Caitlin.
Hello.
And today we have a special guest because Eric's out of town again. He had to go to a wedding. But we do have a special guest here from Santa Barbara, and his name is Adam Ernster.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys?
We told you guys. We told you he'd be on in one of the next episodes, I'm pretty sure.
It's true. We've been asking about him for episodes already.
And
you know how it is.
He came up here because we have an all-day trip tomorrow, and there's a bunch of whale people going on it, so it's going to be super awesome.
Woohoo!
I do know that you saw killer whales like 2 days ago.
Yeah, so we saw 3 different families down in Santa Barbara, right? So we saw the 51s. Actually, it was really weird. So we had the 216s at first. And when I say 216s, it was just Jagged, the matriarch, and one of her babies, which was kind of weird because recently they've been spotted with the whole family, and that's the one with the great calf. But anyways, it seems like they split up for a little bit. So there's only 2 members from that pod, and then I was like, yo, where's the rest of her family? And then out in the distance, I spotted more killer whales, and I thought that was the rest of her family, but it wasn't. And they were coming from the exact opposite way, and Jagged was just like hauling at like 10 or 12 knots. She was just going, Lacey, she's going at it.
Lacey off.
Lacey really missed Adam.
Yeah, she did.
Wow. My dog was just on top of Adam.
Now she's embarrassed.
Now you're embarrassed. So then we saw another pod coming from the other way, and that actually turned out to be the 138s, which is a pod of 5. There's one like sprouting male in that pod, and so we followed them, and they were like riding in our wake and stuff. And then literally from the other direction came the 51. So it was just like a huge...
Did they all meet up?
Hodgepodge. Yeah, they all met up. Hodgepodge of whales. They were like mating, socializing, riding in our wake. They completely mugged us for like an hour and a half. It was like the best killer whale encounter I've ever had. So,
Dude, it looked freaking insane. I don't think I've had a killer whale encounter like that in a long time.
yeah, it was just crazy. They just loved to...
Well, I guess I just had pretty good encounters up north, but
Yeah, it's true.
but not like that where they're mugging the boat.
Yeah, they were just mugging
clear
us for
water.
Like an hour. Oh, the water was so good. It was so flat. And you really can't ask for much more than that. But it was really weird. Like, we don't normally see pods join up in the channel. Every time I've seen killer whales there, it's just one family. So that was kind of cool.
And so how long have you been back in Santa Barbara?
A month and a half.
Dang. And you're already seeing killer whales.
Yeah, everybody's giving me crap because I spent the whole summer in Washington looking at killer whales. Now I get more killer whales, and maybe we'll get some tomorrow. Who knows? I'm not jinxing it. I'm knocking on wood. There's no wood here.
Yep.
The floor.
If you just ruined our trip tomorrow, Adam, you're cut.
Adam, you're getting kicked
You're cut.
off the
You're
boat.
cut from the podcast.
I
and
will
the-
throw
and the
you
boat.
off the boat.
Yeah. Definitely getting thrown off the boat.
I'll start squealing.
No, dude.
Like you did on your video.
Okay, so tomorrow
Yeah.
I'm going to be strictly filming with my DSLR, so you can't talk. No, I'm kidding.
What do you mean?
Just if we see anything exciting, you can't talk.
And be like, Adam, put a muzzle on.
Dude, that's the attraction.
No,
of-
that's going to make your videos get some views on
Yes,
them.
that's exactly. That's
I mean,
the
that's
attraction
true.
of whale
They're
watching
like,
in
dude,
Santa
that
Barbara.
girl really likes
Yeah.
whales.
I've
you
gotten
guys
that so many times.
If you haven't heard or seen the killer whale video yet, we'll use his kill if you don't mind.
Yeah,
we'll
no,
use it as the post, our next post.
Yeah, I can't hold it in.
Adam was quite animated.
The last time I think I freaked out like that was when the killer whale breached and landed like literally like 3 feet from the boat and splashed and got
when
me.
it
Did you get a
splashed the
picture
boat.
of it?
And I don't even think I made a noise, but Eric was like, "Oh my god, it got me! It got me wet!" And like it was so funny. And
That's
then
actually me.
yeah,
I say like 3 things. I go, oh my gosh, you're kidding, I can't believe it's happening.
You're kidding.
You're kidding. Yeah.
I remember really freaking out with short fin pilot whales in Newport one night. It was just us on like a rib, and they're literally, and Margot actually got on the boat with me because we were leaving like a mall, and we drove straight down and got on the boat. And I remember the short fin pilot whales were just bow riding, and like they're just like,
dude.
you know,
I
they're
wanna see
like
them so
12 feet
bad.
or 15 feet long or whatever.
It's a big animal
Those are
to
big
bow ride a
boys.
boat.
Yeah, so
Big boys.
I guess they're bigger than 12 feet. They're
Yeah.
like 20 feet.
I don't think
No.
they're that long, but like definitely
Those
15.
are falsies.
They're like
Falsies
15,
are
yeah.
like 18 to 20 feet.
Yeah, pilot whales are pretty big. They're like almost as big as false killer whales in length, but they're definitely way
Actually,
heavier.
you know what's
they're
funny
thick
is
boys.
I saw short fin pilot whales on the Ocean Explorer one time, and this was like way back, and I was standing on the very roof of the boat, and it's like a 2-story boat, you know. And I was shooting straight down, and one was coming under, and I remember it being like I could just see the peduncle and it fluking, and it was so long.
Yeah,
it was like 6. That was like 6
they're
feet.
big.
So they're pretty big.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah,
they're almost as big as killer whales. They're not as heavy, but they're almost as long.
So Adam has super rare, awesome luck, I guess.
You know, people keep saying that, and I don't know if it offends me or not.
Why would it offend you?
Because
dude,
like
people get so mad that we see whales, but we tell them this every week. If you want to see whales, go whale watching.
Exactly.
If you go 4 days a week, you're
that's
gonna
my
see
thing.
something.
Is like I moved to Washington to see killer whales. I
exactly.
I work for a company in Santa Barbara, and like that's kind of like a mini Monterey, like we talk about. Like at some point, you know, like when you're out there every day and you're in these great locations, like you know something good is bound to happen. So, but yeah. It is luck, but.
Yeah, I mean,
Also
but if you want to see lunch
right
feeding
situation.
humpback whales, and you know that they do it consistently during the summertime in Monterey, it's a good place to go to try to see them.
Exactly.
But don't go for one trip. Go for 2 trips in a row, 3
So
days
it's
in
like-
a row. You know.
Yeah.
There's a certain point where
You
luck
know?
turns into like
You know what I
putting
mean?
yourself in the right situation.
So the reason we actually have Adam on this podcast,
because I was screaming.
no, not because of your video.
I mean, that's a bonus.
But because he just got back from the San Juan Islands a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't had time to get him up here yet. But he's going to tell us about his first year working in the San Juan Islands, specifically on Orcas Island, and all the things he saw.
Yeah. The Salish Sea is a pretty incredible place.
So they say.
So they say. When was the last time you were there, Caitlin?
Not since I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, supposedly she saw
Not up
Granny
there.
when she was a kid, but I don't believe
I saw
it.
Granny.
I know. It's
I don't
messed
know
up.
I don't know what pod we saw, but I'm pretty sure we saw Southern Residents from Lime Kiln when I was a kid.
Probably.
I have
There
really
weren't
crappy
transfers
Probably
photos
there.
West
of
J
them.
Pod. I think they used to be around there a lot. Like, it was
Yeah.
a normal thing.
This was like late 90s.
So, what's up? You moved up there when?
Yeah, so I moved up there right as I got out of school. So I was up there June 18th. And I was there till September, 12th. So pretty much 3 months.
Dang, that's some solid whale life
Dude, being
activity.
in the water every day.
Dude,
can't
just
really
being
ask.
up there every day,
Oh, it's so beautiful. I
dude,
miss
it's
it.
hard to not be positive when you're there. That's for sure. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible place. But I did have to live in a tiny shack.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
With-
your living situation was
with
less than
no
ideal.
bathroom, no shower. The ocean was my shower. I'd use the shower of my homies. They just come home sometimes, and I'd just be naked in their bathrooms. Just kidding. That never
You can't
happened.
say that on our
what?
podcast.
Eric, oh my god.
Sure you can.
Adam, what do you?
We're gonna scratch that part out.
What are you talking about? But yeah, so living situation was not great, but you make it work. Because I got to be on the water every day.
What's the first thing
I'm
you
trying
saw?
to think. Yeah, actually, the first thing I saw was a humpback. The first trip
Oh,
I had.
I know. They love humpbacks there,
The
dude.
first trip I had, I went out with Captain Troy, and yeah, there was no killer whales out there, so we just hung out with some humpbacks.
Did you get there
which is
before? Oh, no, you saw me while I was there. I was
Yeah.
there your first month.
Yeah, literally two,
Like a week
2 or
into
3
it or
weeks
something,
after
yeah.
I moved there. But I remember the first really great killer whale encounter I had was it was with the 65As and the 46Bs, and I mean you've seen it up there when families.
I've
meet
seen
up.
those.
Yeah, but when the families meet up, they just tend to go crazy, right? So we had the 65As and the 46Bs. The 46Bs are the ones with the gray calf to Luke.
Yeah. 46B1B.
Yeah, 46B1B. And yeah, they just these two families met up and they just went crazy. And that was the first ever photograph I got of a breaching killer whale. That was pretty cool.
Dude.
But literally every day up there is
How
just
stoked do you think
wild.
he was, Caitlin? His second trip he sees killer whales and he's just damn.
Did you cry?
I get it. Oh, I bet he was screaming, huh?
I
Is
didn't
this real? Are those true?
Are you kidding?
I didn't cry that time. I did cry a couple times.
Just are you kidding me? Every 5 seconds.
It's just
kidding
so
me? Are you
flippin'
kidding me?
beautiful.
oh my god.
I don't know how the harbor looks on Orcas Island, but just being in the harbor and looking off into at another island, it's just so incredible.
So it's weird on Orcas Island because we have our own private marina, which has its drawbacks because we had to fuel 3 boats that had 250-gallon fuel tanks manually every day by using 5-gallon canisters.
Dude, that's brutal.
So that was a
Dude,
pain.
I'm telling you, he
Brutal.
roughed it
Pain
this
in the
summer.
butt.
Yeah, you did.
We just like for whatever reason couldn't get a fuel line down there or something. So that was fun.
Probably a good thing though.
And then like the way the tides work there, it's just like so drastic. So we'd have like
Yep.
Yeah.
like a 6 or 7 foot drop, and there'd be some times where like we couldn't get the boats out, so we'd have to get the boats out at like 6 in the morning
And just
then
float them there.
Well, we
What?
have to shuttle people to a different dock, and so that was a pain in the butt sometimes, but made it work.
Dang. So what you saw, transients, obviously, like the whole entire summer.
Yeah. So
Oh, the week I left, there was like a 1 week lull, right?
Yeah.
And I guess they talked about that on my trip. They said like that was they said every summer it happens for about a week.
Yeah,
It happens, and
seems
it
to-
happened right after I left.
seems to always happen. Yeah. So there's like a good week, maybe even like week and a half, 2 weeks, where we didn't see any killer whales. There's always humpbacks there and minkies there. So that's kind of how you make it.
Well,
by.
there wasn't always.
No, there wasn't always, but now
Not
there
in
is.
the past, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now there is.
They're getting pretty lucky up there nowadays.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
Getting
It's
everything.
still a short season though. They only get.
Yeah.
Well, it's not though, but it is because people don't travel there like January, February. But realistically, you could whale watch there until November, and you could start again in March.
Yeah.
People just think that you. I mean, you could do it during the winter. It's just too risky because of like the weather.
It just gets gross, and there's not
Yeah.
enough tourism there.
Yeah.
There's
It
not
gets
enough,
rainy.
not enough people.
But there's still whales around. The transients eat seals all year round. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're there.
So they're there.
Um,
The humpbacks aren't, but there's whales there. Minke whales.
yeah, no, there's definitely stuff there, and like
And
even
the stellar sea lions are all back too, which is
yeah,
really
the
cool to
stellars-
see.
Yeah.
that's the one thing I didn't see while I was there.
You
What?
missed because he moved like
well,
a.
stellar sea lion hunt.
Oh,
you
I
saw
was like,
stellars?
how
I saw
did
the
you not
stellars.
see
No,
stellar
I
sea
saw a
lions? They're
ton of
all over the
stellars.
place.
But I wanted to see one get murked.
Yeah. It's so funny because every time they're like, trust me, the thing you want is a stellar hunt.
Yeah,
Because they said it's like.
'cause it's a battle,
it could
dude.
It could be like 4 or 5 or 6 hours, he said.
Dude, that's a 2,000
Wow.
pound animal.
Yeah, but
fighting
like
for
it's
its
funny
life.
because they
Brutal.
take big male sea lions down. Like they could, I think they could take stellars down.
Well,
Well-
some of it's also practice. So, like, the gray whale hunts here used to be 10-hour ordeals. And now, like, I've seen one in less than an hour.
I think that
Really?
one,
Yeah.
the one that you watched from beach only was like 45 or an
Yeah,
hour.
I've seen several
This
hunts that were
last
only
winter.
45 minutes.
See, and it was the pod that everybody says doesn't usually eat
The
killer
51s,
whales.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Emma's group take down a gray whale calf in 45 minutes before, too. Like, we watched the whole thing in a 4-hour trip. I was like, what the I thought we were in it for the long haul,
the
and it's
fuck
already over.
Yeah.
That's another thing I haven't seen. I haven't seen a gray whale hunt yet.
It's cool. It's
There
cool.
wasn't a
It'd be
lot
cool to
this
see
year.
it somewhere else
No,
other
there
than
wasn't a lot
Monterey.
this year.
Where else would they?
In Washington, and then also...
They do it everywhere, but
there's
not
one
everywhere,
narrow
but they do
pass
it
in
a lot of
Alaska.
places.
They do it, too.
Oh yeah, there's that one little pass. like,
Dude, they
all
do
the
it
gray
off
whales
Big
run up
Sur.
through.
We missed so many.
Yeah,
of
there
them.
was one in one for sure, documented in Morro Bay this year.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Morro Bay.
Yeah.
So I think that they do it more than we think.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So
But yeah, San Juan's was awesome. I'm trying to think of like.
So if you were going to do it all again,
Yeah.
what would you do differently?
Um,
Because this is your first gig. You didn't really know the lay of the land. You didn't
Yeah,
know
so-
a lot of people up there.
that's a great question. I definitely try to work for a more reputable company, just like one that focuses more on the conservation
Yeah.
and maybe research aspects of it, because that's what I care about.
Yeah, one that fits your
Like to a
needs.
certain extent, it is about selling tickets and making a business, right?
Yeah.
But that's not really what I care about.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm going to apply to Maya's this year and see what happens. There's a whole bunch of different companies on San Juan. And I also just, as much as I loved living on Orcas Island, I'm not trying to not have a bathroom again.
Yeah.
And Orcas Island is nice, but there's really only one town there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to...
and there's like one restaurant, right?
So
Yeah,
how,
there's one restaurant that's open, like, that has the same hours every day. Other than that, restaurants are just all over the place.
So you were at, like, you were offered that living situation from the company.
From the company, yeah.
So
And granted,
this time you'd look for your own
yeah,
deal.
100%. They kind of made it seem like it was like a tiny house and like a communal living kind of deal. But it really wasn't, which is
Yeah.
fine. I didn't pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
And I was able to roughhouse it. Like, I don't think anybody else at that company would have done that, but I didn't really
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
It was cheap, and I got to save some money and see killer whales every day, so that's all I really cared about.
That was the goal.
Yeah, that was the goal, and I definitely got that achieved. But yeah, definitely going to try to work for a company on San Juan next year.
Is that kind of the main island that everybody operates out of is San Juan?
Yeah, so like Orcas Island has like 2 companies. San Juan has like 15 or 20.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't think Lopez has any companies because my company ran charters out of Lopez.
Oh, okay.
So just like random islands we would take people out of if they requested it and would pay for it.
Yeah, I saw one of your taxis while I was up there.
Yeah, we have water taxi. It's a big company. You know, we go to Anacortes as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to focus more on the research or, you know, conservation aspect of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a really great point to know you get your foot in the door and really experience the San Juans. And it took a second to get it down, but like just knowing the geography and the geology and, you know, being out there every day, you know, as a tour guide, you get so many different questions about stuff, and that's
right. Well, and
helps
it's always
you learn
good.
quicker too about the
exactly
area.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and it's always good to get your lay of the land of an area, and then if you want to
Exactly.
change to a different company the next season, like
You-
can say you already have a season's worth of
Exactly.
experience.
So that was really important. But yeah, I had a blast up there. You really can't beat it up there. The regulations are tough.
yeah, that was the first summer with the new regs, right?
Yeah. So it's
And the last because they end in
yeah, they
October.
ended, yeah.
It's
but
only the Canada regulations that were bad.
Yeah, so Canada
Yeah.
couldn't watch the southern resident killer whales. We had to watch them in the U.S. from 300 yards away.
And all the whale watch companies get permits to watch them a little closer than the private boats. The private is 600, I think. 6 or 400.
Private boaters just kind of do whatever the heck they want.
Well, yeah,
Well,
of
that's-
course.
That's always
Nobody
the
really-
problem.
Yeah.
And like, granted, when the southern residents were around, WDFW, the kind of whale watch police up there,
Yeah.
they'd stop boats and stuff. But when because you know, there's a good month and a half where the residents weren't around in the beginning, and we'd have people just like running over pods of Biggs killer whales, and we'd honk at them and wave them down and stuff. But private boaters just either A, don't care, or B, don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard not to know when there's 6 or 7 boats around all honking at
I feel like
you.
if
You'd
you
be
live in that
amazed,
area,
though.
Like, I
But
guess
if you live in that area, come on, it's in
it's
their
a
news like
huge-
once a week.
Exactly.
You should have seen the kayak we had today.
Really?
I can't believe a kayak
Who
was
is
so
it?
destructive. I don't know.
Was it with the killer whales?
They looked familiar. Yeah, we had killer
It's
whales
probably one of
today.
the guys. The guy I probably have the video of the drone from.
No, this was a different kayak, but I mean, this looked like a person I've seen out there before, and they paddled right up to the sea lion that was knocked out that they were
Oh my
about to start
God.
teaching the little one how to work with.
No, thank you.
And then the guy paddled right up to it with all the whale watch boats around. There was 8 boats,
Dude.
like in a nice echelon formation, in a really good formation. And so one of the boats went up close enough to just like actually talk to them on deck and was like, hey, you are
Get out.
interrupting their hunt. Like after the killer whales, because the killer whales gave up on the teaching moment. They just took the sea lion down, ate it, and went on with their day. And so the one boat came up to him and was like, hey, you need to stay 100 yards away like the rest of us are. Like
Yeah.
you're in the way, and that's illegal. And this person definitely was someone that I've seen out there before.
So
like
they
they
should-
are aware of
they
the
should know, yeah.
rules. And
No,
there
the
was
guy
plenty
that
of
was in the
boats
kayak
around.
was not chasing him around. He was actually trying to get away because they came over doing
Yeah, I
it.
remember.
Yeah,
He got
on
real
your
scared.
video, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy today, I was like, that was pretty intentional. You paddled right to the sea lion and
Well,
then
there
had
is
all
a
the
guy
killer
that
whales
comes
circle
out of
you.
Moss.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Is that where you think it was a guy that's like usually wears like a Speedo?
Yeah, that's who
yeah.
I think it was, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. My
don't
view
know,
was
just-
backlit, so I couldn't really
Dude,
see.
this
You
guy
know, like-
paddles out to Blue Wells like 10 miles out sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
you
my
see him
gosh.
so far
Oh my
out of
God.
Moss. You're like,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. People are amazing. Like people,
Yeah, people just
either
kinda
like
do whatever
blatantly
they
just
want.
yeah.
And you know, there's kind of no getting around that. I wish the regulations up there would focus more on people like that, the private
Yes,
boaters
I
versus the
agree.
whale watch companies. Like we're the ones being responsible. We're the
I
ones
agree.
educating people about the whales, showing their plights, what they're going through. And you know, we always do our best to keep respectable distances.
Right,
But
right.
300 yards, I mean, that's tough.
You can't get a good look at
You
a killer
can't get a
whale at
good look,
300
and, like,
yards.
Granted, with the residents, I've had so many encounters up there in the 3 months that I was there where they come to you. Like pretty much every time I saw them, they would go to you.
But still, it's
And
like
you-
so much stress. To
And even
try
then,
and,
yeah, exactly. People like the WDFW and Sound Watch and everybody's like, get away from the killer whales. And you're like, I can't do anything. What
Yeah.
do you want me to do here?
Yeah,
I had
it's-
If I
residents-
move my boat, it's going to put them in more danger than me
Right.
just sitting there
Right.
enjoying the moment.
I had residents off of Limekiln, which is a half mile.
Yeah,
you have to
it's
stay
a
a half mile. You have to stay a half
no-go
mile
zone.
off the beach. So regardless of where they're at, you have to stay a half mile off the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were a half mile off the beach, which is pretty far from them when they're like 100 feet offshore.
Yeah.
And we had onyx breach on the outside of us, like a quarter mile.
Exactly.
And so it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can stay as far as you want, and if they feel like coming over to you,
And
they will.
And the thing about the residents is that when they're off a lime kiln, like that's like their primary feeding grounds, right? But you know, like when they're in foraging mode, they're spread out over a couple miles. So it's not just one, you know, group that's together. Sometimes you'll have them, you know, all over the place, and that's typically what you see when they're foraging.
Yeah. And that's one of the behaviors you don't want to interrupt, and that's one of the hardest
totally.
behaviors to like maintain.
Totally.
And
maintain the distance for.
I hate to say it, but all the times, and I think it's only 3 that I've seen them at lime kilns residents, they've been having researchers chase them around in a circle. Literally, I've watched them chase one, and it was like the 2 weeks after she had lost her baby. Like it was around then.
You know,
and they're literally trying to get a tag on it, and it's like, you know, that's their feeding ground. That's why you have us a half mile away, and you're still chasing them around.
I thought they weren't going to tag them anymore.
They tagged one while I was there on my trip.
Are they
They
putting like
actually?
limpet tags or suction cup
they
tags?
must be.
No, D tags, yeah, suction cup, like
They've had
24-hour
problems
tags
with
or
tagging
12-hour
in the
tags.
past,
Yeah, the
back in
permanent tags.
in
They.
the 90s.
Yeah.
The
Well,
thing is
even
it can bring really
recently.
good data,
Yeah.
but they have to use the data. That's all.
Yeah.
If you use it, then I'm for it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not going to use it and you're just going to tag it
Yeah,
to
the
say you're doing something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the benefits have to outweigh the cost significantly.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Like we all love those whales. We want them to do, you know, what, you know, forage and do the things they need to do.
Yeah.
It's just a tough situation, but definitely like my best encounters over the 3 months were with the residents. I had the first actually, let's see, they were gone for like almost the entire summer. So like they first showed up, right? Remember, like there was like a huge thing where like, oh,
It was like 3 months or something.
Yeah, they weren't.
Or
Seeing
they didn't see L pods since January.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
We
were the
saw
last,
them
yeah, we were the
last.
last.
Yeah, we
to
saw
see
them
it,
last,
which
yeah.
I just saw again, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like the entire time I was there for the first couple months, we didn't see the residents, and they first showed up on July 5th. And so for this year is the first year on record that they haven't been seen in the whole month of June, which is kind of alarming. Anyways, they showed up in July 5th. I didn't see them on July 5th. We had transients that we were going to watch instead. Because, you know, again, the whale companies are responsible like that. You know, if there's bigs or transient killer whales around, we'll watch them instead of the residents.
Yeah.
Because we care about them.
Yeah, I think everybody from like that doesn't go whale watching, I think they just think like, oh, they just go straight to the residents. But like,
No.
there was a trip where I was on with my friends there, and they said they knew the residents were around somewhere, and they didn't go. Like
Yeah.
we purposely didn't go
Most
because
companies do that because we don't want to put any more pressure on them than we have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, they showed up, and then on July 6th, we had the residents off of Stewart Island, which is the most westerly of the U.S. islands. It's right before Boundary Pass, and then past that is Canada. And we were watching them from our 300 yards away, right? And then out of nowhere, like seriously out of nowhere, onyx just breached like 30 yards from our boat.
Wow.
And I was like, my captain started screaming. I was like, what's going on? Because I was in the front talking to the passengers.
Yeah.
And he's like, that was a huge breach. And like my heart
And then
was
he
like,
did it again
oh my
and
gosh.
again and again,
And then he did it again.
dude, Onyx is a gangster.
He's a gangster, dude.
I seriously
So-
like because
Oh
that was
my
my first
gosh.
breach up there. I did get a spy hop from Slick before the breach, but when that breach happened, it like made I already had
Dude,
my trip
like,
made, but it was like, come on,
He breached again, like
he's a big
again
whale.
30 yards away, and like I was freaking out. I had my glasses on, so I wasn't really looking through my camera really, and then I totally messed the second shot up. And I was really zoomed in, and it was out of focus because he was so close. Like I was at 100
Panic
millimeters.
shooter.
I was at 100 millimeters, and I still couldn't get him in frame. And then luckily he did it again, and it was like the best one because he was looking straight at us.
Oh, cool.
And so I got that picture like perfectly in frame with like the San Juan's trees and stuff in the background, just beautiful.
Oh no!
And then like,
sorry,
what?
someone just commented. Someone tagged me on Blue Ocean's picture of the killer whale today.
Yes.
and they're like tomorrow, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
no,
shoot,
stop.
don't
ruin it.
Well, today I will tell you today I messed up every breach photo. I did not get a single
they breached-
one.
Oh yeah, because they
It's
were hunting.
tough.
Yeah, they breached
Sorry
like
about cutting you off
No,
for the
dude, you're good.
Onyx thing.
they breached like 3 times in a row. I screwed
But-
up every one.
so
So,
that
I'm
pic-
glad you got one.
Yeah.
The picture is that Blackberry or Onyx though?
I got one of
You got two
Blackberry
that were
and
crazy,
Onyx.
right?
Yeah. So, but the one I got
What's
of
your
Onyx.
background?
Yeah, that one's Blackberry. This is Blackberry.
Okay, yeah, dude, that one's sweet.
But yeah, so
Sweet.
but I don't know. The Onyx one was like, this is the Onyx one.
Yeah, pretty lame.
Oh, that's a
Lame.
And like this
Look
is
at
like
that tree
totally
line
it's
in the
not
background.
cropped at all. Like that he was right there.
Beautiful.
And the best part about that encounter was that I thought he was gonna do it again, but he didn't. He like kind of popped up like again pretty close, like 40 yards away, and he like hit this wave, and I swear I like locked eyes with this thing. Like he I have a picture of it too, like him like hitting this wave and turning on his side. Let me find this picture.
He looked into your soul.
Literally, look, like he like hit this wave and just like was right there.
He was looking
and
at
I
you.
swear he just like locked eyes with me, and that was like, I mean, you guys know me. I started crying and screaming after that. And that was like the most special moment I've ever had. See, dude, like he in Onyx. I was talking to Sarah.
It's not as good as yours, but it's still cool.
When I was hanging out with you, when you were there. And
Oh,
we were hanging
yeah.
out with Sarah and Jeff. She was like, yeah, you know, he likes to do that. I think he likes to.
He's a
hear
breacher. He's a
people
shower
scream
offer.
and stuff. He totally is.
Liner likes that when
Okay,
people
does he?
scream. Yeah.
Do you know who these were? Okay, it's so funny because it's the CA51As that are out, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the video I posted 2 days ago might have had it was 11 whales, but I think it had the 51As and another pod in there.
Oh, maybe.
You guys had the 51As and my super rare, ultra rare.
And the 120.
Oh yeah, that's who it was.
22s,
Okay, so who was
yeah.
that? That was them. Okay, then this is the 51As that's doing this pec slap.
That's so sick.
They can be really fun.
I called
whales.
them in by posting.
Whoa, calm down.
I called them in, dude. They're coming tomorrow. Woo!
You
Hopefully this
settle
doesn't go out till
down.
after the
I
trip.
hope so, dude.
So people don't.
No, dude, we're posting it right now after we're done.
Shoo! We are. Shoo! I hope that we see him tomorrow.
trying
That'd
to
be awesome.
think of other encounters. Also, that blackberry encounter was pretty cool too. That thing just loves. Like I saw him 3 days in a row, and every day I saw him, he like did these massive breaches. That thing just loves going off.
All right.
That's the first time I've seen 50B breach today.
Really?
He's usually not that crazy of a
Something
whale,
about, like,
so
Like California transients, they don't really breach all the time.
no, not
But
unless
I
they've eaten something.
But I have had them breached. Like
The residents are way more like spy hoppy
Dude,
and
every
breachy.
time I see those things,
the
they're
rest
just going.
That's what I
off.
said. And someone was like, "No, I think they're boring." I was like,
No.
"I
No,
swear
they
to you,
spy hop a
there
lot.
there was spy hops all over the place.
Yeah.
There was like tail throws
Every
and
single
breaches,
time.
like chin
Yeah.
slaps.
Towards-
Even offshore killer whales are way more like they tail slap a lot and peck
Dude,
slap.
It's got to
So-
be the bigger number pod thing.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
to me.
More-
It
more
must be,
whales to
yeah.
talk to, you know what I mean?
That's true. Well, and the transients are always trying to be stealthy
Yeah, because they're eating mammals.
because their
Stealthy
food has
boys.
good hearing.
Okay.
Dude, they're so sick.
Oh yeah, so I told someone that the residents are like, I was like, trust me, I want to move to San Juan. It's amazing. That's because that was my first time there, so I was freaking out. But they were like, oh no, the ETBs are way better. And I was like, what? No, like I promise you, the
Dude.
residents breach like crazy.
Yes.
I understand that the ETBs have done crazy things,
Yeah.
but like I think the residents are very active. But I'm sure the ETBs are active as well.
Dude,
I mean,
those-
the ETPs will like surf in the wake.
Dude, those
which is pretty
ETPs
cool.
act like common dolphins. I
Yeah.
swear to God, like they just
That's
come
pretty cool.
over to
Those
the
ETPs
boat.
are gonna get the whale industry in trouble because
Dude,
people
yeah,
don't
they
understand
are.
that you
Yeah,
can just
they
be
don't.
doing your own thing and they'll
Dude,
come over
everybody,
to you.
Everybody
Yeah.
in the Pacific Northwest thinks that the SoCal companies are like running over killer whales, and it's just not the case. Those things just literally beeline right towards your boat.
Yeah.
It's pretty miraculous.
There
and
is-
they just slaughter things.
Yeah, there is the one thing in Newport though I will admit is that the private boats are nuts. There's just so many because it's warm
Yeah.
water down there. It's warm. I mean,
Yeah.
it's warmer. Like it's just like such a ocean. The ocean's a
Yeah.
big activity.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's calm, it's warm. A lot of people own boats. And,
Yeah.
like, the sea conditions are
Yeah.
good enough for you to go out
It's-
with hardly any
Yeah.
boat experience.
It's Orange County, so there's
Exactly.
just a bunch of rich people.
So like
with
where
their
we don't have a
boats.
lot of boat traffic here in Monterey,
Yeah.
except for during like salmon or crab season.
Yeah,
or
and-
squid,
or
like,
like,
but not even
really
then.
flat, calm day in the summer.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get a lot of weekend warriors out there. But, like, weekdays, pretty much we never have a problem.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's hardly ever calm enough for it to
That's
be a
true.
problem
Yeah,
for
you
most
can't
little
really do much
boats.
out there.
But no, I think from all the whale watch companies I've been with in California, there's like a few, and it's one of them's in Monterey that I don't think really like follow the rules.
Oh yeah, there definitely is a few. I was just talking to Kristen and Delaney about this today. Like, there's just certain either companies out there or specifically people that just don't really care about the rules or regulations and just kind of do what they want.
Or, like, think that their judgment's better than...
yeah, and
the
like granted,
regulations,
when
and
you're a
it's like-
captain that's been on the water for 20 years, for the most part, you think you have enough experience
Yeah.
and knowledge
Yeah.
to do the right thing. But in some situations, people just do what they want.
Dude,
Well, in
which
some ways,
sucks.
even if you do think you know better, and maybe you do, like, you still have to be a good steward to others. Like, you still have to show a good example
I
to
totally
everyone
used to
else.
think I knew like exactly how the whales felt about like everything, and it's like it's so not the case because I haven't.
Yeah.
I absolutely have no idea what they actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I truly believe they care less about the drone, but I do think that they can see the drone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
Like,
mean, there's definitely videos out there of
Yeah.
killer whales reacting to drones.
And I definitely think toothed whales more than
Yes,
baleen whales
I
agree.
react. But I know people that have said that they've seen like humpback calves completely like just disappear after they saw the drone.
Yep.
So I mean, and now and that's. But my experience from traveling to different places has led me to like learn a lot more things about like, because I would have just been stayed in my lane, you know, and been like, no, I know what I'm talking about because I do this, I do it every single day. So if I've never had this reaction, I'm gonna claim that I know it's right, you know, but it's not the case.
And the thing about drones is that they're just so new that there isn't a whole ton of research on them. But at the same time, it's just a respect thing for the animals. Like, I wouldn't want to fly buzzing around 10 feet from my face. Like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
And even if the
And the
whales
people
can't
on the
see
boat.
that, like,
Yeah, a lot of the complaints I hear is that the passengers, it diminishes their experience.
Totally.
You know, like you've got a drone in your shot, or you can hear it, or you can see it above the whales, and it's just annoying. Like,
that's why when I fly, I never fly like one in between the boat and the passengers.
Yeah.
And two right above the whale.
Yeah.
And three, I just don't even like. That's why I don't like it, especially when there's lots of people, because
You're almost always above all the birds.
It gets in their video. It gets in their video.
Yeah.
It gets in their because if they're taking pictures and you're 10 feet above this killer whale or this humpback or this gray whale, it's in their cell phone picture because most people are shooting with a cell phone.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be getting all these shots with the drone in it, and that totally they're like, what's that thing in the air?
Yeah.
You know, when they share it with their friends.
I don't recall a time specifically where you ever were flying below the birds either. You know, like it's not just the whales either.
Yeah, dude.
Because even the birds will get in front of your shot. So if you zoom back a little bit, you get the whole picture. I mean, if you stay further back, you get the whole picture.
Well, and a lot of drones shoot in 4K, so there's no reason to be like way up on
and
it.
you can
crop
in.
Yeah. And also, the whale is 60 feet. Like, the humpbacks are 50 feet long. So
if you can't see the whole whale in the frame, you're too low.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I've
You're right.
definitely
You're 100%
flown low before, but I've probably flown low it's always off the side of the whale at an angle, and it's probably 30 or 40 feet back away from the whale still, you know.
Yep. Like I saw, what conference was it? At Halifax, so that was like 2017 Marine Mammal Conference. The snotbot guys did get reactions out of adult baleen whales, but those guys are flying so low, they're intentionally trying to get the blow.
No, totally.
And the only time that they would get a reaction from the whale is if they came from behind the whale and on the side where the whale could see it. If they came straight on or straight up the back, they would not get a reaction. But if they came on the side from behind the whale would get a reaction. Yeah. And those guys are flying like 5 feet off the whale's body.
Yeah. And also, so your drone loses its battery, right? Or something happens.
Yeah.
If you're above the whale, at least 60 feet, by the time your drone falls down, I think the whale's going to be
clear
gone.
of it.
Exactly.
Totally.
So that's what I'm saying. You got to just think about that too.
Yep.
Yeah, but if
If
you're
you
really
had an
close to
equipment
it,
failure,
if you're really close to it and the drone slowly falls, do you think a 2-pound piece of plastic is really going to hurt a blue whale? No,
but it's still
not nice.
It's still it's
like-
going to raise
it's
its
just-
stress level. Who knows?
Exactly,
It's going to make
like,
it leave from its food source. You never know.
leave the.
Can you
thing
imagine
alone,
it touches the blue whale's back? It'd probably just freak out. It'd probably just run.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're off to the side, off to the back, even if you're technically above it, but towards the peduncle area, at least it has time for it to fall and not be on the whale.
Yeah.
If something were to happen, knock on wood, it doesn't.
The thing with drones and social media is that I talk to Jordan Lerma about this all the time. He's one of the Cascadia drone guys. But it's a social media thing, and like.
Yeah.
If Slater started posting pictures like that all the time, and with your huge following or whatever, other people would start to do it.
Yep.
People with less experience than you, people with less knowledge about drones, people with less knowledge about whales.
And it sucks because I totally, in the beginning, it was such a social media gain.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then now, I try not. I still post it because some of my favorite times.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I've witnessed, which it always draws me back to wanting to put the drone up.
Yeah.
Is because there's
Totally.
things that I've recorded that haven't been seen before.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's a very useful tool. I mean, I just always think of that offshore killer whale encounter we had a couple years ago. We would have never seen the shark. We would have never been identifying the species or the size of the shark if we didn't have your drone footage. I mean, we were about to move on from the area, and you're like, wait, there's bubbles, and then all of a sudden here's this whole 7-gill shark.
Yeah.
at the surface, and we saw just a tip of the fin from the deck. Like,
And-
I have photos of the same encounter.
And that is exactly the video that kind of changed my whole like
career.
dude,
Yeah.
for sure.
Totally.
Like, that's the most sold video I've ever sold. Like,
Because it's incredible. I mean, it was the first of its kind, as far as we know.
Yeah.
And then, well, someone got like this the same week. Someone got one eating a blue shark, but they didn't. They captured like just a sliver of
Oh
it
yeah,
happening.
later that week down in Newport.
And then I went
Yeah.
down there and saw the offshores
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Dude, in like less than a week, I saw them twice.
Some of the
That's
same
crazy.
ones too. They were photo ID'd some of the same whales.
you know, and like
so-
we're not like. I mean,
And I love the drone. I don't ever want it to get
Yeah,
taken away. And I
exactly.
think, I don't want to say I think everyone should be able to do it, but I think people should be able to do it, but in a respectful manner, and definitely follow the like regulations of like getting your remote pilot license, checking the regulations, the flight regulations in where you're at,
Yeah.
and check the sanctuaries, like
Yeah.
because there's a lot of
Yeah.
like
No
marine
fly zones.
no fly zones
Yeah.
in marine sanctuaries and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just bought my first Phantom.
And what
Oh,
is the
yeah.
first thing I told you?
What did you tell me?
What did I say today? I called you and I said, you told me you got it, and I said, you better what?
I don't know.
Oh my god! I told him to get his drone
I
pilot
was
Oh
license.
gonna
yeah,
say,
you
get your
did.
pilot
Yeah, and
license.
I'm
And
in
he
the,
said
I'm
I
in the
will.
process of doing that right now. But again, like
I'll send you some links.
of the topic of how useful these things are. Like the reason I just spent $1,500 on this drone was because I'm getting put on the whale entanglement team, and like as a photographer, so
For Santa Barbara.
That
Yeah.
I think that's another application for drones that I think is a total game changer.
Totally.
It's for entanglement response. You can approach the whale in a way safer manner without stressing an already very stressed animal by using the drone.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Complete
Think
game
about
changer.
that day that me and you were standing on the
Yes.
beach for like how many hours watching
Yes.
this whale that was
Anchored.
stuck to the bottom, literally
Yeah.
anchored to the bottom, and we were able to keep notes on it, see everything that was going on.
Yep.
Get the best like angle at seeing where like how it was wrapped.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that whale, we didn't find it the next day when a disentanglement team was able to get on scene. But hopefully that whale just broke free because it wasn't there in the morning.
I think when the tide changed, it was no longer anchored. And some of the gear, I think, was found the next day. So it may have even shed some of the gear. Yeah. But there was another day where there was a whale entangled, and we ended up on Kate's boat, you and I. And the drone is what helped them diagnose the type of entanglement, because they could just see one line across the back of the whale. But Slater had video that the pec fins were pinned to the side of the whale's body, and you could not tell that from the deck of the boat.
totally. So drones.
Yeah, because the pecs stay below the surface.
Yeah. And this whale was feeding in the middle of like 25 other whales.
Okay, and like so many useful days, and I just got called like not even a month ago, and we talked about this for that blue whale that had the monofilament on it, ended up being 2 hooks and a couple, like a little line hanging off.
Yep.
We didn't find that whale, but I was able to be called in, get on the boat with them, and go out and search. And unfortunately, we didn't find it, but the blue whale is gonna be fine. I mean, it had a hook in it, and he's 80 feet long.
It'll rust out
Yeah,
and it'll
exactly.
be okay. Yeah.
So
still really sad.
But yeah, I think, everything you should approach new technologies with caution, because they do have some major upsides, especially if you're really creative.
Totally.
But yeah, you really just have to be always thinking of the most respectful way to conduct the new piece of equipment that you're introducing to the environment. So yeah, there's definitely some major pluses to drones, but I think that there's also a lot of people that don't know what they're doing.
yeah, dude, and I've seen people fly their drones from Palos Verdes, the lighthouse,
Yeah,
Puerto Vicente,
that's the thing
on the
is-
killer whales,
and
and
it's
like,
illegal,
dude, we're
and
2 miles offshore. What
It
are you
doesn't matter. It's
doing?
already illegal. If you have to have your drone in line of sight of you. So if you can't see your drone, it's
Yeah.
illegal.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's just the thing with new technologies like that, like you were saying.
Yep.
Well, people will just
You
push
just
the
gotta
limit
do it in the right
for
way
a photo.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's tough, but we love drones.
And in some ways I don't know how, like, you have to let people use a tool in every potential it could go in to see what all your options are.
Yeah,
like,
see
you
what
have
works
to
and what
let
doesn't.
that kind of like free enterprise happen for a little while, but you have to somehow be able to rein it back in, because sometimes people think of uses for technology that the creator never thought of when they were developing it.
True.
But people also will do really awful things with that technology while they're figuring it out. So it's kind of a tricky one. You don't want to just slap the regulations right on it. You got to let people get creative with it.
Snotbot can take
Yep.
samples of their snot now.
Yep. Yep.
You can see the size of the whale. You can calculate exactly how.
Oh, a paper just came out using
What's that
drone
called?
photogrammetry.
Photogrammetry, yeah.
Yeah.
Big word, science.
Science.
Grammar.
Photo-
Grammarly.
Photogrammetry.
So photogrammetry, and then what else can you do?
Entanglement
Disentanglement
assessment.
assessment.
Yeah.
You can do.
Health assessment. The Southern
Yeah.
Reservoir.
People did
Whales.
assessment with walruses, even though I highly recommend not flying over pinnipeds
Yeah.
or things that have ears above the water.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're 200 feet up, and you have a
Yeah.
quiet drone,
I mean, things that you would used to use helicopters for, like
Exactly.
walrus surveys, I think a drone is safer for the human beings and actually is less disturbing if you do it correctly for the animals. Because can you imagine a helicopter flying over a walrus haul out?
And
oh yeah, and they probably go like 40 feet above them and
Yeah.
just hover and
Yeah.
look at and count them all, like you know what I mean, out the
And
front
just-
window.
incredibly cheaper. Like
Yes,
a lot of these research
infinitely
companies
cheaper.
couldn't
Yeah.
couldn't afford to do what they did in the past,
Yep.
you know, but now they can.
Much cheaper and safer, less to insure. You're getting high resolution data. Yeah, it's definitely,
So-
if it's done respectfully, it's a great tool.
Lacey, don't pull
Yeah.
this thing out. What you doing, girly?
Lacey now wants to.
It's just
disconnect
really
all of
like for me, I love the drone, and that's why I'm applying for like a permit.
Yeah.
Because I just don't, if they do get taken away, because there's definitely people using it that just have no idea about these animals, and they're just using it, which I get. Like, it's fun to take photos of it. Like, if
Totally.
you're going to take pictures of just the waves hitting the beach, it looks really amazing.
Yeah.
So I get it. But then now people are realizing that there's whales off the beach in California,
Yeah.
and all it takes is basically me to post it. And then I'm not saying I started it by any means. A lot of people have been doing it even before me, but it's a huge thing for during gray whale
it's
season.
trendy. Yep.
And there's places like in Southern California where there people will put 5 drones up at one time.
Yeah.
It also, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but like it feels like it takes away whale watching. Like when people are just looking at whales from the beach instead of spending the time and effort to go out there, right? Like
Some lady just wrote me the other day and threw a fit because she got mad that we watched the Southern Residents. And she's like, you guys should be watching them from shore, like not from here. And I said the problem, and we went to this whole thing on like why we all think whale watching is,
beneficial.
It's beneficial for the whales, and it's not just for our own personal money gain. Like we literally have to police people around the whales.
Yep.
And if we're not there,
exactly, if we're not there,
then no one's there except for people
document
riding jet skis, doing wheelies across their head.
Yeah.
Literally, and
Yep.
And I've literally seen that.
yeah.
So yeah.
It's tough. It's just tough, and it's gonna continue to be tough when you're dealing with lives of animals that people care about.
And we recommend whale watching, land-based whale watching.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, and our thing is that with that is, if you can't get on the boat, then there's like, because in Monterey it gets windy, but and rough. If you can get down to Big Sur, there's so many places where you can look off the cliff and see humpbacks, gray whales, blue whales even. I mean, it's really amazing what you can see off of Big Sur coast.
Right.
Off
I
of
do
California,
think
period.
I do think people get more out of an encounter with whales, even on land, if there's someone there to tell them about them.
Exactly.
Like,
Otherwise, they're like, oh, there's like
spout.
water
There's
coming
water.
out of their
cool.
blowhole.
Whales. That's a
You
big
know?
fish. Yeah. Like one time I was standing on the scenic loop in Carmel during that gray whale predation with the
yeah.
51s, and like the amount of questions I got in the course of 90 minutes.
And doesn't it make you feel good when you
Yeah.
can like tell someone
Yeah.
like, oh, this, and they're like, you're like, I know them. I've seen them
Yeah.
for the past 10 years.
Yeah, these people are like,
And they-
wait, what?
You
Like,
can change someone's life on land.
they had no idea what was happening. They're like, what's all the splashing? And I was like, well, it's kind of a murder scene, but here's the deal. And so I think, yeah, you can promote land-based whale watching, but I think one of the big benefits of boat-based whale watching is the naturalist guide. You know, like, is the narration, because then people are getting messaging about the animals. They're learning things about the animals. And hopefully, if you're doing your program right, you're also giving them a call to action at the end. You're giving them a conservation
That's what
takeaway where
matters.
they can do something.
Can you get my dog a toy?
Lacey's freaking out.
Thank you. Okay, there you go.
What does she have?
Um,
She doesn't have the noisy one.
Yeah, and okay, so here's the thing is I've met people on San Juan Island, and this is a big deal. You're taking a ferry out to an island, right?
Yep.
And and some people, we know how people are. They want to go whale watching, and they're like, we're gonna do it one trip on our whole vacation, and we're gonna see everything, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're going kayaking to see them, and I'm like, no, please don't. And it's not because kayaking is not amazing, but it's because if you really truly came here to see a whale, your chances of seeing them on the kayak is like 0% right now in the San Juan Islands. So
I worked as a kayak tour guide there as well. Or you'd have people every single day being like, so we're going to see killer whales out there, right? And I'm like, no, I've been working here for 3 months and I've seen killer whales twice from a quarter mile away on a kayak. Like, and I'm out here every day.
And you're low to the water, so like you seeing them from far away.
It's like a little tiny fin.
Yeah.
And like the kayak experience with the killer whale, I'm sure it's phenomenal. I'm
so
sure it's better than everything.
But if you're going to a place to see them like that, make sure, and you think you're going to do it from land, schedule a boat tour as well, you know, and then do the land one second. So at least you have better chances.
I mean, we always say that. Do your research before you go out with a company. Make sure it's reputable and that it's supporting the work you want to do. Yeah, be an informed consumer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to have the age-old debate for the last little bit of the episode?
Sure, what's going on in the hood?
Photo rights. So when your crew on the boat, whose photos are they? Are they the companies? Are they the photographers?
Did you ask me this last? You asked this last podcast.
Did we? No, I said.
Asked me
I
after
said
it,
we could. I said we should talk about this on an episode. Yeah.
Especially because you have.
Okay, here's my thoughts. You want to hear them?
Yes.
If you're hired as a deckhand and you just get a camera and they allow you to shoot, if it should just be. It doesn't. You know what? It doesn't matter. If you're photographing on their boats, period, just 50-50. You own the rights. They own the rights. They can use the rights for social media, websites, whatever they want. But you still have the right to sell it. Like, say you're going to sell it to Nat Geo or whatever documentary is doing a documentary. You can sell your footage or pictures to magazines, but you own the rights, but they still get the rights to use them for their platforms.
Yes.
Not to sell for though.
Yes.
Which they're not going to sell anyways. They sell tickets. You know what I mean?
Yep. I agree. 100% I agree.
I mean, working for two different companies in the past 3 months, both companies have said that they're my photos, right? I own the photos. I took the photos. The photos were taken on my camera, not a camera that the company bought.
Yeah.
That's another thing that you got to consider.
Yep.
And those companies are both companies, in my opinion. Those two companies aren't super big on like social media and like, their advertising or anything, right?
They're not.
So there's going to be companies that are like, super into advertising that are like,
and like
these are mine.
I do all the advertisement. I reach out to the news companies for Santa Barbara. I do their social media, all stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I took the photos and like,
so sometimes, so I think we're all pretty well in agreement, but the argument that some of us have experienced from other companies is they're facilitating the experience and you are an employee of theirs. And so like sometimes they'll even force a contract saying that you do not have rights
I would not sign that
photos.
Contract. I would not
exactly.
work for that company.
Yeah.
I'm in a contract with a company down south. But I'm pretty sure it was 50-50 split. Also, I didn't read the contract, so
that's your own fault.
Takeaway from Slater is read the contract.
They told me what it was about.
But I think when it comes to the financial part, there's also another level. Like it can be more complicated. One, if they provided the camera equipment for you and they're going to pay the editing software,
exactly.
Then that's a little bit different. You could have a discussion about that. If it's your equipment, if it's your time, if it's your software. You taking the photos, in my opinion, you can sell it and they can use it, but they can't sell it. The other thing is, what about photo packages? Like, do you split the money with the company?
So
do you
I think that
keep
depends.
You got to work that out with the company because if they like before it was, they were literally the way when I started it was a printer. I ran downstairs. I had an iPad. I plugged the SD card in the iPad. Picked 6 photos to edit. Right.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Do you want it 2?" It was 4 for 10 and 5 for 20. Yeah. Right? They would get the $20 package. I'd run downstairs, plug it in the printer, print them all, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that costed so much money in ink and paper and in like the little cardboard stock. The company was just forking it out so that we could make tip money.
Yeah.
But it literally didn't benefit the company other than the fact that they may, in the review, say like they offered a cool souvenir package, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't until we went to digital photos that it started. Sorry, that's my dog. It wasn't until we went to digital photos that it like really started benefiting.
Yeah, it really pays off better when it's digital.
Because it doesn't cost the company anything.
Yeah, especially if it's something like WeTransfer where you're not even dealing with the like the USB or anything else. It's just like, here's the digital file, here's the link.
dude,
like that's it.
I just
super
airdrop,
clean.
I just airdrop stuff.
Oh,
to
or
my
yeah.
messages. It's so
Monty,
nice.
remember Monty airdropping his photos?
I know some other people that do that too.
Dude, it's so nice.
So
I mean,
what?
okay.
Android users are just screwed.
No, so I can either airdrop them to people immediately, I don't have to deal with it later, or I can get down your email, send you a Dropbox link later.
Yeah.
But like again, I love my company because I keep 90% of what I make on photo packages, which is
That's nice.
yeah.
Wait, you get 10%?
I just throw like money into the tip jar. So yeah, I mean, again, my company's awesome. Come out with Condor Express.
Shout out to Condor
Okay,
Express.
watch. They're gonna listen to this. The owners are like, you know what? He's scamming us.
He's screwing us, man. We're like, we could have got way more money out of him.
You guys are gonna start going out on the Condor just to tip Adam because he's not gonna make money anymore.
But you know, like it is difficult. And like, did you guys see my captain's humpback video?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that went multi-viral. Like
Yeah.
ABC7 picked it
Yeah,
up. It
yeah.
got like 5 million views, right? And
It went super ultra mega rare
and
viral.
that's super ultra mega rare viral. But he was like, because I had posted that, and he was upset that I didn't put his name on it, right? So there's
Tag me.
Well, it was tag me, but it was also like, obviously I tagged him and everything.
Yeah.
But you know, like whales, orcas always repost our stuff, but like never gives credit to the right people.
Yeah.
And there's always just people that like
Oh,
either
really?
don't
They
know
don't?
credit. Yeah, and you know that's
I feel like they
frustrating.
always
And
credit
so
me.
That's another
recently-
one. Photo credits. Make sure
Exactly.
you always try and like pay the respect
So
on giving
recently
photo
I've
credits to
been-
the right
I've
people.
okay, when I see accounts which are curator accounts, right, that use other people's content to get their own gains, and they don't tag people, it ruins your chance of growing.
Yeah.
If you grow,
Totally.
if you want to grow your curator account, tag the photographers because they're going to tag you, they're going to share it in their story.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like the
It's
relationship
so you
you
scratch
build with,
my
with
back,
these
I
accounts.
scratch yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, recently with videos now that my captains take, I do a little watermark on it. And I do it in a way that it's not over the middle of the video or whatever. See, like this one. Yes, they credited
put it in the
credited the
bottom.
Condor Express, but they didn't credit my captain, so he was kind of upset about that.
Yeah.
And then like
Oh, but dude, that's
well, the same
okay.
same thing with ABC7 that went viral. It had 5 million views, and like they didn't credit. So
If you try to tag two things, they're gonna
They'll
they're
pick
gonna
one.
either
They'll pick
usually
one.
and most of the time they're gonna pick the person and not the company because it obviously promotes a company.
yeah, but
So
this
that's
time-
why I would say, but that's where it's good if you're like the main photographer, right? And
I'm
they
the
share
only photographer.
yeah, exactly, and they share you. You tag the Condor 5 days a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's super beneficial to the
Yeah.
whale watch company,
Yeah.
regardless if it's on their page, which it's always good to build up both.
Yeah.
But if it comes from you, it's still gonna get to them
Yeah,
Yeah.
one way or another.
Well, and that's that whole concept of like influencer marketing, right? Like you're now the Condor's influencer, and so as long as you're continuing to tag them, then even if someone misses a photo credit, you know, you're still giving it to them regularly, so
yeah.
it'll
And
all come
it's
together.
nice to be able to have your own page, but also be in charge of the whale watch page, right?
Yeah.
So like you can, and do it in a way that's beneficial for both parts. Like
Yeah.
I don't post a thing without saying thanks to the crew and my crew and the company and
Yeah.
shouting at the company or whatever.
Oh,
and
trying to make
vice
me look
versa.
bad, dude? Dude, okay, I get it though. You have younger crew and captains, and they have social media. Like here in like Discovery Whale
Nobody
Watch,
does. Yeah.
who would
Yeah.
you tag? You know
Myself.
what I mean? Exactly. Like, and it's no offense to them, but they most of the captains are older or they just are
Don't
not
care.
into social media. So
Yeah.
it's like, if I just tag the company usually.
And you know,
Yeah.
I think it depends because like in the San Juan Islands, my company didn't give a hoot about social media, and I guess rightfully so because all their clientele is based off of tourism, so people are either going to be on the island or not.
Oh, true. I
And,
guess
like-
that's just kind of true, huh? It's like they're either coming or
Exactly.
But,
So,
hey,
I
I
mean-
will say it could drag them to your island.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Social media can.
You know
And
how
like
many people go to that island thinking there's gonna be killer whales,
Because
totally.
it's called Orcas.
and it
Totally
has
not,
nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that until like the last time I was up there.
But again, and then like Santa Barbara is a really good place for social media because it's kind of a touristy destination as well.
Yeah.
But the
It's in
whale watching there
California.
is amazing, and it's California, and there's a million people there.
Yeah.
So it also depends on the location, but yeah, it's a photographer life out here.
My dog
Lacey's
is-
I
contribution
don't
is
know
the
what I
squeaky
just
toy.
said. Yeah.
She's calling all killer whales for tomorrow.
Yeah, please do, Lacey.
I'm so excited for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I feel like
let's-
I dreamed about killer whales, but I don't think I did. I just feel like I
Dude,
did right
every
now.
time I dream about killer whales, they aren't there. So don't dream about killer whales.
Oh God.
I'm
Knocking on wood
scared.
again.
I don't want to go now.
What do you mean?
I know Caitlin actually took off, you guys, to go whale watching for the first time on one of my trips ever.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she's freaking leaving.
She's going all the ones I did with Discovery.
Yeah,
Because she's leaving life.
I am. No, I'm not leaving life.
You're
I'm
I know,
leaving
guys.
the
Welcome,
continent.
welcome Adam as our new guest speaker all the time.
Permanent
What's going on,
guest.
guys? It's your boy Adam Ernster here coming at
I never.
you.
Oh, by the way, I never.
Adam, you can't sit at my seat at the dinner table.
I don't
That's
even
not
introduce
fair.
myself, and you just introduce yourself.
Who are you? This is my podcast. What are you talking about?
Whoa, dude.
Oh,
Should we just
Slater.
sell him the rights to the Whalenerds podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a
Yeah, dude,
mill
I'll
or
do
what?
it.
1
I'll do it
billion.
down south.
Oh, no, I like where your head's at.
The Whalenerds, Santa
SoCal.
Barbara. Santa
SoCal
Barbara
chapter.
edition. I was thinking of doing that. What do you think about that?
No, just
No.
you just calm down. On that.
Veto.
Veto.
I'm not
I
trying
do
to be
have
in
some-
charge of society
I do have some friends up north that are trying to. They've been trying to start a podcast for 6 months now.
Just do it.
Every time I've gone, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna order a mic."
Lacey.
Oh my
lay
gosh,
off,
my
my
main
guy.
Lacey really just missed Adam a lot.
She hated me last time I was here.
She's got to get all her affection back in.
Ugh.
All
What I
right.
can tell you about starting a podcast is just flip and do it,
Yeah, it's so fun.
even if it's really bad at the beginning
Even if we're out of town every other week and all of us
and
can't
our
be on the
technology
podcast.
fails all the time.
Adam used to love our podcast until it got off his Monday schedule. Now,
Now he's off his routine.
No,
He's
dude, I
over
still
it.
listen to it, but it just never comes out. I've listened to
Dude, it
every
comes
single.
out.
I've listened to.
Awkward.
it comes out on.
I've
It just
listened
comes out
to
on, like,
every.
Wednesday, Thursdays now,
I've
not
listened to every
Monday.
single episode from 1 until what is it, 30 something?
30
39?
are we on 39?
We're on 39 right now.
See, I even know what number it is.
We're ending 39 right now.
Wait, I want to say more things.
Like
Shout out to my
what?
mom.
Stop.
No, but for real, we got to end this podcast.
Yeah, we got to go to bed. We have a long day tomorrow.
Big things happening tomorrow.
I got to charge my camera.
I have to plug in batteries right now.
I have to charge it batteries too.
Charge your cameras, clear your memory
Adam's-
cards.
I'm
We'll see
gonna-
you in the morning.
Adam's gonna be on battery duty out here because they're gonna be plugged in every outlet. So
There
he's
you
gonna be
go.
watching.
I don't
them
want
all.
your house to explode or anything
You're on battery watch.
with all these reptiles.
And
as
you gotta
well.
swap 'em all
these,
out.
All these heat bulbs.
I don't have any reptiles.
What are you talking about?
There's not even anything in that terrarium. Marco's holding it.
You're right, actually.
All right, you guys. Thanks for listening. I can't believe we're on 39. We're almost on 40. That's like midlife.
Woo!
That's like a midlife
Crisis.
podcast. Is. And dude, the views are like.
I know.
Like
it's
even during the
crazy.
week, like even when we're not posting, we're getting dude. It's like it actually blows my mind.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Maybe
you to our Patreon people as well.
Yes, thank you, Robbie and
Maria.
Maria. Yeah, thank you so much.
Dude, maybe I'll start a podcast.
No, dude.
Why don't you just subscribe to us on Patreon, Adam?
Yeah, you don't even subscribe to us, bro. You know what you get if you subscribe to us, Adam? We'll allow you to do one topic a year. We'll allow you to be on the podcast twice a year.
Well, that's why I just start my own podcast, and then I don't have to deal with that.
Wow, dude.
He's dusting us.
Dude,
while
Are you gonna start a
he's
solo
guest.
podcast? I kind of want to start. You want to start your own?
Yeah,
What?
Dude.
We can do one.
Ooh.
We could
I'm
all have
sad.
one. I'll have
Dude, we should
five.
have a
I wish I
photog-
had like
We
five.
should have
Honestly,
a specific photography one.
because at least I can do them all every day of the week. Because I'm just
Yeah.
sitting at home.
That's true.
You're not wrong.
All right, you guys, we're ending this podcast. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you follow us on the Whalenerds, and make sure you follow Adam. His
Ooh, we'll do
Instagram.
Whalenerds Instagram tomorrow on the trip.
Oh yeah. We'll post. Adam, what's your Instagram?
Adam_Ernster.
Yeah, I don't
How do
know.
you spell that?
Fine, we'll tag. We're gonna
And
post. Well,
check
you know
out-
what? We'll tag him on the last Whalenerds post. So yeah,
Check out the Conor Express.
hashtag it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace.